I'm going to tell you a method I've been using that completely changed my life. I did not invent it. Nobody invented it. People have been doing this for as long as people have been imagining things on purpose or by accident. What I've done is given it a structure, a name, and a marker that lets you know when it's working. I call this the holodeck method because the easiest way to understand what you're doing is to picture the holodeck from Star Trek. You step inside, you set the scene. You become a character in your own story. You stay in the scene long enough that the scene starts running on its own. That's the whole thing. That's the method. At my website, there's a book I wrote about it, but I'm also going to just speak through the whole thing chapter by chapter and upload it. If you want to support me, you can buy the book, but honestly, I just want you to put this into practice. I want you to consider it because I have changed my life this way. I believe this goes back to ancient knowledge. There are other people who teach this scripting method, but I fell into it by accident, and I didn't learn it from anyone else. I fell into it by accident. I wrote things that absolutely happened to me. I am not going to tell you what to want or what to imagine. I'm going to teach you how to use your imagination as the tool that it actually is, and you decide what to do with it. Chapter 2, why I wrote this. In November 2025, I was at one of the lowest points of my life. It was a toxic situation that I didn't think I'd ever escape. I was in a geographic location that I hated, in a future that felt like a wall. If you saw me on social media at that time, you probably wouldn't have realized it, but that's what was going on. So I put on a blindfold, I listened to theta wave music, and I built a scene in my mind. Just me and my dog walking on a boardwalk at the beach. Nothing dramatic, that's all it was. I didn't know what would make me happy. I just knew it was my dog and the beach. 2 or 3 weeks later, I was living at a beach rental that I found at an off-season price that I could afford. And it was in a town I already knew and loved. A few weeks after that, my dog pulled me down a series of streets that I had never walked, never been to that part of town before. We came out at a boardwalk with the ocean on my left and the boardwalk shops on the right. Boards creaking under my feet. That was the scene I had imagined, almost exactly. This was not the first time that method had worked for me, but it was the most recent and the clearest, and I believe it happened, at least partly, so I would finally sit down and write this method. The full story is coming later in this book. This is a method, step by step, and everything I know about how to make it work. May it do for you what it did for me. If I keep looking down, it's because that's where the book is that I wrote. Chapter 3, a note on sharing. If this book resonates with you, please share the link, tell people about it, but do not share what you are writing about yourself. Do not share your scenes, do not tell people what you're imagining, what you're working toward, or that you're doing this at all, okay? Don't tell anyone. The fastest way to ruin a manifestation is to expose it before it has weight. Your scenes need to develop in private, protected from outside opinions, protected from well-meaning interferences and other people's doubts. Once you share, you invite all of that in. You set yourself up for failure. Keep your work private. That is crucial. Chapter 4, before you step inside. What you're about to do is between you and you. Tell no one you're doing this, not your best friend, not your partner, not the person you're imagining. And no, you're not interfering with their free will, but we'll get to that later. People will find out you're doing this and will try to get to you. Not out of malice, but sometimes out of fear, love, their own doubt, their own projection. It doesn't matter why. What matters is that their energy will get into your field and pollute what you are building. Keep it pristine. Treat your thoughts like they are precious, because they are. Next part coming soon.